Chapter 4. From the Express. "Okay, I've made a decision," Lydia told her friends, standing and swaying with the movement of the train. "Well," Freddie pronounced, "on your own head be it, as your uncle would say." Lydia pulled a face. "I hope not. I've just decided to go to the toilet." Freddie laughed. Sophie sighed. "That's not the sort of decision we wanted, Lids." "Yeah, but it's still necessary," Lydia said. "I'll think about it while I'm, you know." She turned to leave. Freddie opened the compartment door to let her out and slid it closed behind her. "Who do you think she'll decide on?" said Sophie, as Freddie sat down opposite her again. "Oddie and Dean, maybe?" "Oddie would be a help," Freddie mused. "But could he handle all that reality?" Sophie narrowed her eyes. "I'm not sure reality is the right word. But I know what you mean. He might not cope with the stress of a lot of action." "Wouldn't you have thought Ambrose would have prepared someone?" Freddie asked. "Like he did with us." "Maybe there hasn't been time," Sophie said. "He did say it's all been happening quicker than he thought it would." "Can you imagine Ambrose being surprised by anything?" Sophie shook her head. "So why would he ask Lydia to decide who she wants on her team?" "To give her a chance to get it right. If they're going to be her team, she's going to have to want them and trust them. You can't just present her with the team." Sophie smiled. "But if she chooses the wrong people, that's exactly what he will do." "Yeah, but he can always make her think they were her choice," Freddie pointed out. "You've been spending too much time with Lydia, Freddie. You're getting all cynical," Sophie joked. "That's just me, babes," Freddie told her. "Hard-nosed, cynical street dude." "It's what everybody's saying, Fredster," she laughed. "When did our sweet friend become such a stone-cold killer?" Freddie's face dropped. "What's up, Freddie?" Sophie asked with a genuine concern. "You look sad. I'm not used to seeing my boys sad." Freddie sighed. "It might come to that. Killing, I mean. Did Ambrose tell you about what happened to Harry's agent in the underground maze thingy?" Sophie looked down and nodded. "I guess that's the reality Oddie would find hard," Freddie went on. "I'm not sure how we'll cope, but we will. It's for Lydia." "It's for Lydia and everyone else," Sophie corrected. "Literally everyone alive, and everyone still to be born." "But we're just, idiots," Sophie finished. "That's why I think we need Oddie. It would be hard for him. From what Ambrose has managed to say about it, we're going to need someone really clever. Someone who isn't Lydia, because she's going to be up to her neck in things." Freddie leaned forward towards her. "Are you trying to tell me I'm not a genius?" "Work it out for yourself, genius." Freddie frowned for a moment and shook his head. "Nah, too hard, too thinky." Sophie sat in silence for some time. It was not actual silence because of the rattling of the carriage and the chattering of the Freddie. Elsa was on her knee. She stroked her beloved cat while she watched the landscape sweep by. "Do you think I should go and look for Lids?" Sophie asked after a while. "Well, she can't possibly have got lost," Freddie said. "It's just one long corridor. But she's got talking to someone. I hope it's not Shona. They'll end up back in King's Cross tomorrow morning before she finishes." Sophie gave him a hard look. "Shona's not that talkative anymore." "I know," he admitted, "but it's funny if we pretend she is." "You're so bad." "Yeah, but in a cute way," he grinned. "So?" Sophie prompted. "What?" Freddie asked. "Should I go look for Lids?" Freddie gave a deep, dramatic sigh. "All right, then. You go forward and I'll go back." "We're almost at the back, you lazy git." He treated her to a sheepish smile. "But all the girly bathrooms are further forward. I'll catch you up and keep a lookout for you, though." "Look out?" While you're in the ladies' bathrooms looking for lids, he explained. They're not actual bathrooms with stalls, you know. We're on a train, she explained. How would I know what the ladies' bogs are like? He protested. Because they're the same ones for everyone, she pointed out with a hint of stretched patience. Let's just go together. It won't take long to look in the other 2 compartments behind us and ask in the guard van. Then we can work our way to the front. Okay, Freddie chirped. The guard could not give them any clue to Lydia's whereabouts. He set the trend for everyone else they talked to, every compartment they looked in, and every toilet door they knocked on. There was no sign or report of Lydia for the full length of the Hogwarts Express. Even their classmates had not seen her. The only exception to this was the lady who pushed the tuck trolley. She had seen Lydia pass, but had not noticed her return. Maybe she's back in our compartment, Freddie suggested to Sophie. How would she have got past us? Sophie asked. Freddie looked around them and lowered his voice. You know, she can do special stuff. So she could have gone anywhere, Sophie observed. She would have told us, Freddie said. She wouldn't just go off and not say. Where is she then? Freddie shrugged. Not helping, Fredster, Sophie fretted. She'll be fine, he soothed. She's like a super mega warrior witch and stuff. And why does she need to be super warrior, big brain? Freddie thought for a second, then clapped his hands over his mouth. Dropping them, he whispered, You think something might have started? I'm just saying we don't know, and it's a possibility. Should we tell Ambrose then? Freddie asked. How? Sophie said. We can't get a message to him until we get back to school. Maybe we should tell Xander, Freddie suggested. A cat. Tell a bloody cat. Sophie shook her head. Only you'd think of that, you utter spoon. Freddie put his fists on his hips the way Lydia did sometimes. Didn't Ambrose ever tell you? Never dismiss anyone just because they're different, even if they are a cat. Sophie gave him a wry and condescending look. I think Xander and Ambrose have some kind of special connection, Freddie explained. You must have noticed them together. They look like they've got some big conspiracy going on sometimes. Anyway, it can't hurt to let Xander know we're worried about his mum. Okay, we'll tell Xander, Sophie relented. If only to shut you up. Where is he? He was asleep in the compartment when we left. Sophie scowled for a moment. What if he's gone as well? Well, what if goats had wings? Freddie countered. What? Exactly, he grinned. He set off towards the rear of the train and their compartment. Sophie shook her head and followed him. Xander and Elsa, the 2 cats, were still where they had left them. There were no goats, winged or otherwise, Sophie noted. Elsa was curled up and asleep. Xander was sitting upright, his back straight and his front paws neatly tucked together in front of him. Xander, Freddie said, in the tone of one breaking bad news. Lydia seems to have disappeared. We thought we'd better tell you so that you can tell Ambrose. Xander watched the 2 students as they sat down opposite him. He nodded, got up and walked to the end of the bench seat. He sat down there in the same manner. Sophie looked at Freddie. See, I told you. She broke off as she noticed there was someone sitting opposite them, where Xander had been only a moment before. Might I tempt you to Jelly Baby? Ambrose asked, proffering a white paper bag bulging with sweets. We think Lydia, Sophie began, recovering from her surprise. Xander has already informed me of your concerns, Ambrose smiled, with a little shake of the bag to remind them of his offer. They are vegan, of course. Freddie reached out and took a sweet. Sophie waved them away. To answer said concerns, he continued in a more businesslike manner. The Death Eaters have taken Lydia from the train. She is being held in a safe house in Bristol. She is unharmed and under no immediate physical threat. Why hasn't she just zapped them all and escaped? Freddie asked. That is not entirely clear, Ambrose replied. There are powerful enchantments preventing me from seeing directly. I suspect she is being kept unconscious. But you know where she is, Sophie said. You can go and get her back. I could, Ambrose agreed. I do not intend to do so. Freddie and Sophie protested together. Xander hissed, startling Elsa from her sleep. Ambrose held up a hand. They fell silent. To explain, Ambrose said in an even tone, I am, as you are aware, preparing Lydia for what promises to be an arduous task. If she cannot handle a gang of ruthless killers armed with both high magic and old magic, she may not be the equal of the task ahead. But she's unconscious, Sophie protested. That will present her with a challenge, Ambrose said. But, Freddie spluttered, I will not allow them to harm her, Ambrose assured them. She must learn to make use of her abilities, in particular her intellect and her inventiveness. Ambrose studied the horrified faces for a few seconds. Now you may appreciate why I have placed such emphasis on problem-solving. I shall leave you. You will return to school and to your studies. I will inform you of any developments. Please keep the sweets. Good day to you all. With that, he faded from sight, leaving the students and the cats in the swaying carriage. I've never seen him worried before, Freddie noted with concern. Worried? Sophie squawked. How do you work that out? He's not doing a bloody thing to help her. Freddie gave her a quizzical smile. He was quick, hardly said a word for him, and he didn't crack any jokes. When have you ever known him be like that? I suppose, Sophie conceded. You're still pretty annoying, though. I said he was worried, not comatose, Freddie said. And don't forget Exhibit A. He left his sweets. He did say he wouldn't let them harm her, Sophie admitted with a sigh. I suppose it makes sense to give her a chance to prove herself, with a big task coming. What do you think, Xander? Freddie asked, offering Sophie a jelly baby. Xander was on his feet. He stood as still as he could, given the swing of the carriage. Then he turned 3 times in a circle and lay down with his back to them.